بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم أجمعين ثم أما بعد. Thank you for people waking up at 11 in the morning on Sunday to join this lesson. So we covered until now 6 of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's names, these beautiful names, Asma Allah al-Husna. And we are coming to the first, we're day 8 now of Ramadan. We're past the quarter of it already. We covered in the start of Ramadan, Ismullah Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. And for the occasion of the first 10 days of Ramadan are the days of mercy. Awwaluha Rahmah, mercy from that side. So that is for the first 10 days. And we covered what it means by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy in this world and what the specific mercy is for believers. And that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He chose the name for His surah, Arus al-Quran, the Surah Al-Rahman, He chose Al-Rahman, not Al-Rahim. Rahmatullah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His mercy is so big, so wide, that it encompasses everyone in this world. And we elaborated a lot on what the mercy is for believers from that side. And when people meet hardship in life, do not deal with it as it is a punishment. It is not from that side. And we gave the example of the man that's going up 1,000 steps and quite a high, steep incline, but he's going to receive the keys for his wonderful mansion that overlooks a cliff. But he meets another guy that's going downhill, so very barely any resistance, in a very fancy car. And he said, "Oh well, you struggle a lot." But that guy is driving to drive, is going to continue to drive until he falls off the cliff, while the other is going. The hardship is where to reach at the end. It's hardship doesn't feel hardship if you know where you're going, and look at the difference between your trip to work and your trip on a vacation. People enjoy the trip on a vacation because they know the destination is happy and fun and relaxing and so on. So that's what we covered last time. The name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala this time we cover as one of my one of the closest names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to my heart. And how to introduce him. How to introduce this. So if I tell you that you're in a deep problem and you need someone to help you out, and they bring you the best lawyer there is in Harvard graduate, law, etc., masters in so and so, PhD in this and this, and when if you have a court and like day and you have a case and it's quite complex, but you've delegated your powers to your attorney from that side, and you say, well, he's quite talented. He's got 100. Well, he's got 100 cases that he's won. Is his whole record is there's no losses in his case at all. All his cases were won. And so would you sleep the night before court worried, or would you sleep quite comfortable? The man is presentable, or the lady is presentable and well spoken and so and educated, and yeah. Would you be worried about your case in court next day? A little bit, but you'd be sleeping leaning on the fact that you've handed over your case to one of the best lawyers that there are. Has anyone guessed the name? Al-Wakeel. Well done. Al-Wakeel. So, Ismullah Al-Wakeel, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Fatiha, he tells us that your worship, our worship for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is split in two halves. Yes, after Malik Yawmiddin, yes, we praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, saying Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. All this is praise. All this is praise. Malik Yawmiddin, yes. And then we reach the part where we state our complete worship. إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. So, and we said in Arabic language that إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُد means that it doesn't leave any space for anyone else. It doesn't leave space for anyone else. The way the sentence is structured, it's starting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And anything that happens after that is dedicated to him. Yes. How many of us take that verses and we use its first half and we leave its second half? So, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُد, our worship is both split in two halves. Remember, worship is split into actions of the body and we have actions of the heart. So the first half is talking about the actions of the physical body. Yes, that we'll fast, we will pray, we will do this, we'll do this. Of course, there are the resonance. This will resonate with the heart. But إِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ, to you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we only rely on. What kind of worship is this? It is linked to the name of Allah Al-Wakeel perfectly. Yes? So, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. Yes, إِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ means that we purely rely on you. But I rely on other people. But I rely on my milkman to drop me the milk. I rely on my school to teach the kids. I rely on this and I rely on this. So what's the idea here? What's the idea? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us in the clue is in the verses before it, by the way. The clue is in the verses before it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Malik Yawmiddin, the owner and the king of the day of judgment. Means there is no further power for any other being except him. No one else. Allah has delegated us some power in this world. He's delegated us some power in this world. So we can put the effort and create something and fix things in this world. He's given us this power. He's given us this ability. So if we are not utilizing it to 100% plan, execute, perform, deliver, yes, then we are wasting Allah's blessing to us. But where is reliance then? Reliance is an action of the heart, and I'll give you an example. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he talks in the Quran about Ismul Wakeel, his name is Wakeel, he always introduces it before it by his what? His capabilities. In Surah Al-Muzammil, رب المشرق والمغرب لا إله إلا هو فاتخذه وكيلا. So Allah is telling us, I am the Lord of all the east and all the west and everything in between them. Yes? There is no Lord but me. So you need to rely on me. فاتخذه وكيلا. Make me your entrusted agent to manage your life for you. When we went to our lawyer in the first case, when we had this important case in court, we said, so and so, I sign off my power of attorney to this guy to manage my case. You sign off your power of attorney, don't you? You say this guy is going to manage my case. Are you not going to put effort as well from your sides to gather the papers and so and so and so and so? Yes, you are. But the net result in the end is that your reliance, your heart is clinging on this lawyer to manage your case for you. What about our heart that clings on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Allah is telling us, وَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى الْحَيِّ الَّذِي لَا يَمُوتُ. Rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the ever living that never dies. Imagine you relied on someone and this lawyer and so on, and that night he had a heart attack, and next day you show up and there's no lawyer. Allah is telling us this. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam there was a year called Am al-Huzn, the year of sadness. Well, that's what the narrators that came after him described it. The year of sadness. Why is it the year of sadness? He's in the midst of the heat of prosecution of Quraysh and non-believers towards him and his people. Already people have gone to Habasha. Already people have gone to Ethiopia to run away. Already. There's only two people that are acting as his support, his bolster in this war, in this battle. His uncle, that is a non-believer, but because he cares for him, and he's got a very high social rank amongst Mecca, people can't touch Rasulullah ﷺ to kill him because fear of his uncle. And at the same time, whom is the person that at his home that bolsters him and stabilizes him? Khadija radiallahu anha, his wife. Now Rasulullah ﷺ is going to lose them both. In the same year, But Ya Rabb, make it then later on when things are better for Rasulullah ﷺ. No. This is one of the first rules of Ismullah Al-Wakeel. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not want you to rely or cling or hang your hopes on anyone but Him. He doesn't want it. He doesn't want you to do that. He wants you to put the effort. He wants you to put every single ounce of effort you have, every single ounce of strategy you have. But He doesn't want you to carry the worry after that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes this in the Quran and says, وَخُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ ضَعِيفًا. Humanity was built weak. We were built like that. We're weak. Imagine if you think that you have to manage everything around you. Everything. In the darkest of times, you have to manage everything around you. There's no one to manage it for you. How horrible would life be? We're weak. We are weak by nature. We're not strong. We're not that capable. Rasulullah ﷺ in Ghazwat Uhud, in the Battle of Uhud, his planning was immaculate. As far as military planning goes, was perfect. These people will stand here, they will throw arrows. Their arrows will need around 50 because each time they draw their arrow, it takes them around this much, so this many arrows will go at this time. Yes? In Ghazwat Badr, in the Battle of Badr, we will stand here, we will stand in front of the wells so that the water is on our side and not on their side. The water then steadfast our feet, and then on their side it's slippery. And planning to the highest level. In Ghazwat al-Khandaq, in the Battle of the Trench, Rasulullah ﷺ used the idea of Salman al-Farisi. He said, we'll put a trench around al-Madinah. Yes, because Quraysh and others as well are coming over to attack al-Madinah. And Rasulullah ﷺ spent his time digging with them, There was one rock that was so hard that no one else could break. Even Umar ibn al-Khattab, one of the strongest of the companions, even Ali ibn Abi Talib, radwanullah alayhi. Rasulullah described, the description at the time was he was covered with dust from head to toe. But at the same time, you know when you have shock absorbers on your heart, you know shock absorbers when you are working with your body, but your heart is the shocks are all absorbed around it. It's wrapped around it, and you don't worry. This is what tawakkul Allah means. And I take you to the story of Musa alayhi salam. By the way, tawakkul is gradual. It's a training exercise. It's not like today I will tawakkal Allah and rely on Allah and yeah, that's it. It's not. It is it's an exercise from that side. It is a gradual training of the heart, of the soul, that I have someone above me that can manage all my life for me. So what makes me trust? What makes us trust in someone else? That he can manage things for us. You know, like we know people in our lives. If we trusted them with something, we are surprised so that they've been alive so far without bringing damage to themselves and others. We wouldn't trust them. Yes. So what is it that we trust in people? We trust capability. We trust strength. We trust power. Yes. We trust care. Care. The person that's going to take care of our issues has to care about us. Two, has to be powerful. Can't be weak. Three, has to be talented. Has to be experienced. Has the ability. Has the capability. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You won't rely on Allah unless you believe He is the greatest, Al-Azim. You won't rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if you don't believe that He cares about you. Al-Wadud, the one that is kinder and brings His blessings to you, even though He doesn't need you. يتودد إلى العبد في غير حاجة إليه. He becomes kinder and kinder to His servants, even though He doesn't need that from him. He doesn't need that. He Al-Ghani. You won't rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unless you believe He owns the thing that you are seeking. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ إِلَّا عِندَنَا خَزَائِنُهُ. There is not one thing in this world except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a wealth of it. Yes? There was a story of a man, that says, well, I've lost my house and can I rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to get another house? Does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if I rely on Him, will He bring me another house? And the man described that a man responsible for distributing houses and flats contacted him 5 minutes after that guy left. And the man, the next day, he was receiving the keys for a new place. So every time he'd meet him, said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from His wealth, even flats and houses, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Anything you desire in this world, He has it in wealth that never ends. You wish a husband, He has it. Yes. You wish a wife, He has it. Children, yes. Wealth, riches, happiness, contentment, taqwa, whatever it is you want, He has it. So the reason I delayed to talk about Allah Al-Wakeel is that we need to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first. We need to know Him first to be able to rely on Him. You're not going to rely on Him unless you are 100% sure. Innahu al-Azim, the greatest. Al-Qawi, almighty. Yes? The list goes on and on. How else can we survive in this world without relying on Him? How else will we succeed in this world without relying on Him? Musa alayhi salam, the first time, you can see there's a gradual curve of learning reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's a gradual curve. Yes? The first time he threw his staff in front of and beside the mountain of Tur in Sinai, yes? The staff that he's been carrying for such a long time became a massive serpent. Musa ran without even looking back. Without even looking back. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, come and hold it. We will return it into its original status. And then another verse is, Musa alayhi salam, do not fear. My messengers should not have that fear in them. The next occasion is Musa alayhi salam in front of all those magicians. They gathered up to 12,000 magicians with magic tricks to perform in front of one single Musa alayhi salam. Yes? And Allah says in the Quran, وَجَاءُوا بِسِحْرٍ عَظِيمٍ. Amazing tricks. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala this time describes فَأَوْجَسَ فِي نَفْسِهِ خِيفَةً مُوسَى. Musa alayhi salam, this time he felt a little bit of fear on the inside. قُلْنَا لَا تَخَفْ إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ الْأَعْلَى. Do not fear. You have the upper hand, ya Musa. You have the upper hand. وَأَلْقِ فِي مَا فِي يَمِينِكَ تَلْقَفُ مَا صَنَعُوا. Ya Musa, throw your staff and it will swallow those tricks. Swallow the ropes, swallow the sticks, swallow them. Yes? لما وصل موسى عليه السلام to the sea, Musa alayhi salam, he ran overnight with Bani Israel. Overnight. Pharaoh gathered all his men, and chased after Musa alayhi salam all the way till they passed Sinai and then they reached the sea. فَلَمَّا تَرَاءَ الْجَمْعَانِ. تَرَاءَ, which means what? They can see each other. Pharaoh, the Pharaoh, with all of his power, all of his might, and Musa alayhi salam, with civilians, poor people that have been oppressed for hundreds of years, they've been oppressed. When the people around Musa alayhi salam said, "Inna la mudrakun," this time there's no way out. There is no way out. Musa alayhi salam did not hesitate this time. قال كلا. No. What you say is wrong. إن معي ربي سيهدين. Allah's with me and He will guide me. This level of reliance, this level of tawakkul mandates a miracle. It has to. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He closes the doors in front of you, we discussed Ismullah al-Fattah before. This level of reliance mandated a miracle. Well, and maybe this level of reliance is the reason that the sea opened. And not only the sea opened, Musa alayhi salam, after he passed, he hits the staff again in the sea, hoping to close it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him, وَاتْرُكُ الْبَحْرَ رَهْوًا إِنَّهُمْ جُنْدٌ مُغْرَقُونَ. You Musa, you leave now. Pharaoh has had many chances to come back to us and repent. Now is the end of him and his soldiers and his might and his army with him. Can we rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala like that? Some people understand reliance on Allah means that I rely on Allah. I raise my hands and I rely on Allah, and that's about, but nothing's happening. Well, in the Arabic language, there are two words. There's tawakkul, which means relying on Allah truly, and there is tawakkul, which means you are pretending to rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but you're not actually. If you haven't done everything within your power, then you haven't relied on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You haven't relied on Him. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, someone approached him saying, should I tie my camel or just leave it and untie it and watawakkal on Allah? He said, "Aqilha wa tawakkal." Tie it and rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah gave us power within our hands. We have to use it. We have to use it. So how do I know that I am truly reliant on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? By the way, Allah in the Quran says, وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. Those that truly rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah He is sufficient for them from everything. He is sufficient for them from everything. There's nothing that they would require, He will not provide it for them. So how do we know that we're reliant on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Truly reliant on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One is the action of the heart. Is in the darkest of times remembering Allah Al-Wakeel. And remembering the words Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. Allah is the only sufficient for me, and He is my best agent, ever trusted agent. 2, when things get darker and the closed get slammed in your face more and more, your overall sense of comfort and security goes even higher. Evidence from the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says, those الذين قال لهم الناس إن الناس قد جمعوا لكم فاخشوهم. Allah is telling us that there are people that when people come and tell them that people have gathered everything against you. People have gathered everything against you. فَزَادَهُمْ إِيمَانًا. So it increased their faith. It increased their faith. وَقَالُوا حَسْبُنَ اللَّهُ وَنِعْمَ الْوَكِيلُ. And said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sufficient for me, and He is my ever-trusted agent. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. The story, the origin of this comes from Ghazwat Hamra al-Asad. We know Ghazwat Uhud that the Muslimin were defeated in. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was injured. And his companions were injured. But they got news that Quraysh is coming to attack them again. So everyone went out in the same people that were there yesterday went out with their injuries. Someone got an arrow in their hand. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the metal of the helmet had dug into his cheeks. And when they were there awaiting Quraysh, and a representative from Quraysh went there and said, we wanted to scare them. He said the Quraysh has worn قَدْ لَبِسُوا جِلْدَ النُّمُورِ. They've worn their tiger pelt. It's a sign that they're going to come and destroy you completely. But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam with his companions all in one breath said, Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. Their faith is much higher. Their faith is who's going to beat you when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with you? Who's going to beat you? Who's going to defeat you with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with you? The man we left back again said the Muslimin, they're much more terrifying than yesterday. Just stay where you are. So, one, it is an action of the heart. The moment you're in deep trouble, remember Allah, Ismullah Al-Wakeel, repeatedly. Two is that when things get darker, don't despair. It is the time where faith is it's the opportunity of faith to get higher now. Yes. 3, do not seek an outcome with haram. Don't seek an outcome from haram. Meaning, you're looking for a wife for a long time. And you can't find one. Yes. And So, well, yeah, but maybe if I go on a few dates with lots of ladies, maybe they're not. Ah, you're not reliant on Allah, then are you? You're not. You are seeking an outcome. You're seeking a way out. You're saying, well, maybe if I took this money from in this haram way, maybe that would solve. That's not reliance. That's not reliance on Allah. That is not reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Listen to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he describes the creature that is most reliant on Allah. Anyone know? Birds. Birds. He said, لو تتوكلون على الله حق توكله. If you truly rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as you should, yes, لرزقكم كما يرزق الطير. He would have sent his blessings to you just like he sends to the birds. A bird wakes up in the morning and has no, is an example, and has and it doesn't have a bank. It doesn't have a food bank to save some caterpillars from the night before. It doesn't have a credit card or a debit card or a house or a car. All it has is its empty stomach and its reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's all it has. That's all it has. Yes? تغدو خماصا. It travels, leaves away with an empty stomach and comes back with a full stomach. تغدو خماصا وتعود بطانا. So examples from the Quran of the value and the outcome of reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. By the way, the miracles are not purely for the miracles. The miracles are not purely for the prophets and messengers. Miracles happen to us as well. We don't expect the sea to split for us and so on, but miracles happen because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says, وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. Those that seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yes, Allah will always find an exit for them. And then what? وَيَرْزُقْهُم مِّنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. And gift him with rewards from where he does not expect. What do you mean? What does that mean? It means that if you plan things, you've planned everything, you've put the effort till the full, you can't do any more. You can't do any more. Now is the time for you to sit down, sit back, relax, and watch Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala open the doors that you never thought were doors in the first place. And the answer will never come from where you expected it to happen. Never. If you are a true believer, it will never happen from the way that you anticipated it to happen. It will happen in a different way. It will happen in a way that is even better for you. Even better than what you expected. And I'll give you an example. The story of Musa alayhi salam. His mother has an odd of 1,000 to 1. Musa alayhi salam, before him 1,000 children have been killed, slaughtered, or drowned by the Pharaoh. Due to a dream he saw of a boy coming from the sons of Israel. Israel is whom? Is Yaqub. Yaqub is the son of Ishaq, who's the son of Ibrahim. Yes? So he sees that one of those are going to come and take over his whole kingdom. So he says, okay, I'm going to start slaughtering the males when they were born, child, babies. And his spies are active, looking around for every lady that's pregnant. They put a mark on her door. She's pregnant. Keep an eye. The mother of Musa alayhi salam has made an intricate plan. She is agreed with her neighbor that the moment that someone comes, either soldiers or spies, to check on her house, that she runs to the bank of the Nile, hiding away in vegetation there, so that and her neighbor takes her place. How many months has she done that for? 9 months. 9 months of being awake and planning 24/7. Okay, so what's the way out? She's going to give birth. Imagine her giving birth in these conditions. She can't scream. She can't give away that she's giving birth. Imagine Musa alayhi salam crying and them trying to quiet him so that it doesn't make a sound. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran tells, yes, Musa, here's the plan. Yeah, Musa, you've relied on Allah you've relied on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you've done everything you can. Now comes the moment of, here's the plan. Yeah, Musa, إذا خفت عليه فأرضعيه. Feed him. Yes. Breastfeed him. Yes. And then what? What's the next step? Hide him? Hold him tight. Run away with him? No. فإذا خفت عليه فألقيه في اليم. If you're really scared for his life, throw him in the river. The River Nile is quite big. It's quite big. It's quite big, and it's got a very strong current. But this is Allah Al-Wakeel in action. Your anticipation is that you're going to save him. Oh, no. We're not only going to save him. Yes. You're going to put him in the water. And the water will, the current will carry him to the house of his enemy, Pharaoh. What are your superpowers, Musa alayhi salam? What are your superpowers at the time? That is going to ensure that you are embedded within the house of your greatest enemy. 2 things. وَأَلْقَيْتُ عَلَيْكَ مَحَبَّةً مِنِّي. Everyone that sees you, yes, as a baby, will love you. And the second thing, وَحَرَمْنَا عَلَيْهِ الْمَرَاضِعَ مِنْ قَبْلِ. He will not accept any breastfeeding from any other woman except his mom. Allah Al-Wakeel. This is. Instead of saving him, not only did she save him, he was implanted in the house of Pharaoh. The wife of Pharaoh, Asiya radiallahu anha, she said, لا تقتلوه, don't kill him. قرة عين لي ولك. He is going to be our wonderful adopted son. Instead of becoming a little boy on the run with his mother, he's going to become Prince Moses. Pharaoh agreed begrudgingly because of his wife, Asiya. But the second thing is that he's going to, the moment Pharaoh agreed is the moment he started crying, and the crying never stopped. He wants to eat. He's dying, and wet nurses queue up in front of the palace, and everyone tries, it fails. Everyone he won't. Yes. So the sister of Musa alayhi salam قالت هل أدلكم على على أهل بيت يكفله. I have a good mother that he will like. He will accept. فرجعناه إلى أمه. We returned him to his mom. Where? In the palace of his enemy. Is that it? Is that the reward? No, that's not even half the reward. What's the second half? Not only are we going to save him for you, we are going to make him one of the messengers. Not only one of the messengers, the only messenger that spoke to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Kalimullah, Musa alayhi salam. Subhanallah. This is Ismullah Al-Wakeel in action. The companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam knew this, and they lived by this. Khalid ibn al-Walid, who was the sword of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Sayfullah al-Muslim. The companions knew, and the moment Khalid was there, they will never be beaten in this battle. Khalid radiallahu anhu, in the battle of Mu'tah, he in the first day taking leadership, he broke in his hand 9 swords. 9 swords. For Khalid radiallahu anhum, the Muslims are facing a very large army, usually multiple folds as the numbers. And he's saying, his one of his leaders is saying in the army, saying, when they hit us hard, who do we lean back onto? Ila Ajah or ila Salma? Do we lean back onto the mountain of Ajah, or we lean back onto the mountain of Salma? Khalid ibn Walid cried because he didn't register with him. He didn't register with him. What do you mean we're going to rely on which mountain? قال لا إلى أجا ولا إلى سلمى ولكن إلى الله الملتجى. Neither that mountain or that, but on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala we seek and rely. How to practice it. Practice it. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that Man qala fi yawmi. Yes, so that wakes up in the morning and says after from adhkar, La hasbi Allah. Allah is my sufficient, no one else. Yes, suffice, no one else. La ilaha illa huwa. No Lord but Him. Alayhi tawakkalt. On Him purely I rely. Wa huwa rabbul arsh al-azim. And He is the Almighty, the owner of this great throne. Yes, 7 times. كفاه الله شر ذلك اليوم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take care of him on that day. Those that leave their house in the morning and say Bismillah, in the name of Allah, tawakkaltu ala Allah. Yes. الملك, one of the angels, will tell him, هديت وكفيت وبقيت وتنحى الشيطان عنك. In that day, yes, you will be guided to what is best, yes, protected from what is worst, yes, kufita, anything that you will ask, you will be answered, وَتَنَحَّى الشَّيْطَانُ عَنْكَ, and the shaitan will have no control over you on that day. And finally, I finish with one of the best practices of reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is what? Salat al-istikhara. Salat al-istikhara, the prayer of advisement from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're coming onto something big in your life, or small, and you don't know what decision to make. So what do? You ask Allah. Salat al-istikhara or advisement, you stand in front of Allah and you pray 2 rak'ah. And then in the end you ask Allah, Allahumma inni astakhiruka bi'ilmik. Ay Allah, I'm asking you with your knowledge. Wa astaqdiruka biqudratik. And I'm asking you as you are the Almighty. Yes. Wa as'aluka min fadlika al-azim. And I'm asking you from your great knowledge and blessings. Yes. فأنت تعلم ولا أعلم. I know and you do not. I do not know and you know. Yes. وتقدر ولا أقدر. And you're capable and almighty and I'm not. وأنت علام الغيوب. And you're the most knowing of what is the future beholds. Yes. And then you say, اللهم إن كان في أمري هذا. Allah, if you know that this marriage or this job or this action خير لي is good for me, في ديني, in my deen, in my religion, ومعاشي, and my life, my living in this world, وعاقبة أمري, and the day of judgment and what comes after. Yes. فيسره لي ويسرني له. Make it close to me and bring it close. Make me close to it and bring it close to me. Yes. And the opposite. وإن كنت تعلم. Yes. And in this action to me, شر لي is bad for me, evil for me. Yes. في ديني, in my religion, ودنياي, on my life, وعاقبة أمري, and after the day of judgment and what comes after. فأصرفه عني. Push it away from me. وأصرفني عنه, and push me away from it. Yes. And then what? وَاقْدِرْ لِيَ الْخَيْرَ أَيْنَمَا كَانَ. And then guide me, determine to me the best that is for me. Yes? ثُمَّ ارْضِنِي بِهِ. And then make me happy with it. Yes? This is such a beautiful action of tawakkul on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I think I finished by saying that for people that faced hardships, for people will face hardships in life, it is a miserable life to carry this weight on your own. It is a miserable life to carry this weight on your own. It is a miserable life not to rely on Him. The hardships that we will face, it is one of the highest peaks of faith and reward and reliance. Is reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But don't seek what you want from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in haram. Don't put very little effort and then say, well, I'm relying on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's not the way forward. وأقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم.